What's up, my dude?
Hello.
How's it how's it going?
It's going good.
Welcome to the
I'm on.
podcast.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome me. Me again.
Alright, so
Good to
yo
be back.
guys, what's up? Welcome to the mix. Yeah. I don't know if you want to move a little bit closer to your mic, because you are
Yeah, no, I'm kind of staying a little bit far away.
okay. So yeah guys, welcome back to the mix. It's me, it's Vince again. Happy to have you back on, man. What's up?
Not much, stiff dicks and aeroplanes.
Aeroplanes. Okay.
It's
So
not
the
aeroplane.
the original intention for this episode was to have it be music related, which in part it will be when we could still talk about music. But I feel talking about music is a little tough without having some kind of visual representation. Vince doesn't have a camera right now, so yeah, obviously there will be talks of music, but maybe not to the degree that Vince or I was anticipating and or expecting. But
Yeah.
we don't really have any topics. We're just kind of going off the cuff right now, and yeah. I mean, that hasn't stopped us before from going on tangents of hours upon hours. So
10 hours. In a couple more hours,
it
and then maybe
made
a few more.
it made me think. I was making coffee before I got on here, and I was thinking, it's like I like hot coffee, I like cold coffee, but room temp coffee is the nastiest shit to
It's
me.
so bad.
I don't know, like
It has
if
to be like one extreme. Well, you know what it is too? I think in America, we don't really like room temp anything. Like, in the UK, they drink like room temp beer, and I'm not down with that.
yeah, it sounds fucking gross, by the way.
But I think it's mostly just because like we're used to either something being ice cold or hella hot. So it's like this thing
Anything
where
in
it's like
between.
anything in between is unacceptable.
Well, if it's one thing if it's supposed to be that way. Like if it's like a pop tart or whatever, or
Can
uh,
you imagine enjoying a room temp lemonade?
enjoying. No,
Drinking out of desperation in the desert? Sure. Enjoying? Hell no.
that's a bit of a struggle. So yeah, like I said before, we're kind of going off the cuff today. We don't have any particular topics, but
Hell no, no planning whatsoever.
something I did want to bring up was I was working on something last night, but I was too sleep deprived to do it well. It was like
Hmm.
it was rolling up around 3 in the morning, and I've been getting up a lot earlier lately, so it was kind of hitting me for sure. Um, I'm working on a cover of.
No.
Bear with me now, Baka Mitai or Baka Mitai.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Dame dame, dame yo, dame yo. You know the Yakuza meme that everyone has been using.
Yeah, okay, yes. I'm because I know a shit ton about Yakuza. So so yes, I know.
Dude, so I listened to it. I was watching Cloud's. Cloud started a series a while back on Dragon Ball Fighters because he had originally been playing on PC, and you know, so he switched over to PS4. He called it Road to Zeno. It's just like I'm just gonna see how far I can get without losing, and he lost eventually after like 100 plus games, because of lag. And
Um,
yeah, that was the first time I heard that song. I
oh,
was
is it when he died or he lost? He
Yeah,
just
when he lost, he did like a mini skit. Um, is so yeah, that was the first time I heard that song. I'm just like, what the fuck is this song? Like, I don't know much about Yakuza. I've seen a bit of the games. They've always looked interesting to me to some capacity or degree, but I
Oh, they're
never
good.
actually got around to playing them. Like, I've heard many times, like, these are actually really good games. I'm like, oh, I do
They
want to play
are.
these games.
It's literally an RPG. But when you like so like there's random encounters, right? Like an RPG. But instead of a turn-based thing, it's a fighting game.
Um, so
So like like your team party, you run in like say you're playing Pokemon, you run the wild, all of a sudden you get Pokemon jumps up on you.
mm,
And then you get engaged in your turn-based strat. Literally, it's punks will run up on you, and then you gotta beat the shit out of them.
I'm good with this. I might have to play these games eventually. No, I will play these
It's
games
okay. There's
eventually.
only 8 of them, and they're all hella long.
I don't care, honestly. I don't
Someone
know
did
if
a
I'd
let's
ever
play. 30
record it.
minutes. Yeah, I would say never record it. Play them for fun
Yeah,
because
yeah, I just play them for myself because like the recording process like tends to drag things out so much longer.
well,
But um,
that. But also, do you want to know the average runtime of like, let's say Yakuza 0, right? So that's a good one to launch from. You can launch straight from that one.
okay,
0 average.
let's see this. Yeah, sorry about the chirping in the background, guys. Vincent's fire detector, smoke detector, or whatever is.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah, so sorry about
So
that.
if you just want to do the main story, which will take you longer if you don't do the extras, is about 30 hours and 12 minutes.
Okay.
Main plus extras, 63 hours 21 minutes. Completionist 138 34 hours 58 minutes.
Yeah, those are gonna be games probably just for me.
The average is 52.
I could only
Between
stand like let's just call it like when I think of like 100+ hour games, I tend to think of JRPGs. But I can only stand like one of those games at a time, really. Just because it's such an investment.
Yeah.
But what was I saying though? But yeah, I started listening to Bakamitai, and like at first it was just like, oh, like oh, this is a cool song. But then I listened to it a couple more times, like, damn, this shit kind of goes like. But it's so good. And then I was just like, I was goofing around. I was just like, what if I try to sing this? Like, how terrible would this be? And I was just like,
Yeah.
actually, not the worst shit I've ever heard. Like, okay.
Hey Bradley, watch this when you get a chance.
I will do that. The time Kiryu straight up killed the guy. Oh shit.
Breed, by the way, see the channel name.
Norman Fetus. What the fuck?
It's Norman Reedus and his funky fetus. Death Stranding. Here we go again.
But yeah, I'm excited again to some more music stuff because
Yeah.
I've told you already, but obviously for the sake of the podcast, um, I bought a new guitar. I've been very heavily inspired by Ichika Nito.
You haven't let me see that guitar yet.
Oh, I'll send you a picture in a bit. But yeah, Ichika Nito was like huge kind of inspiration for like getting the gears turning and like making me want to like, oh, all right, I would like to learn again. But oh my god, you guys are gonna have to forgive me a bit. Like I just woke up not long ago. Like I just made a coffee or whatever. But I realized the first time I saw him wasn't actually one of his own videos. It was actually one of not Rob Scallon's, Jared Dines' video. It was one of his Shred collabs, and I saw Ichika there.
Oh, that's where I saw him for the first time. Tim Henson is in there too. It's that one where it's like a bunch, where it's like all the like big like guitarist YouTubers, and like even Davey504 I think was in there too.
Yeah, I think so. And then Steve Terberry, or however you pronounce his name.
Yeah, Steve Terberry. Though Davey504 is not a guitarist; he's a bassist, like me.
So I was wondering if, like, I wanted to talk music taste. Like, what's your current music taste? And then maybe what was it back, like, way back when you were younger? And how's it changed, or has it changed at all?
Oh my god, my taste in music changed so drastically. Because the thing is, when I was growing up, a lot of my musical tastes were influenced by my cousin Michael for a while because he's the one who introduced me to a lot of music. Like when I was a kid, he gave me like a shit ton of CDs that I just
And,
went through.
young children are rather impressionable, so.
Yeah, and the thing is, so like there's a mix of a lot of like 90s and 2000 rap, and then lots of punk, metal, and like shit like that, right? So a lot of rougher music, like a lot like and like there wasn't like too many like a lot of the stuff that my cousin referred to me wasn't like for rap. It wasn't like any kind of chill beat stuff that you'd normally hear now. It's very rough, like very like it's hardcore gangster rap, and then the occasional By the way, I so I have a really bad okay. So there's one R&B artist that I can't listen to anymore, um, because of their actions as a person.
Oh my.
But sometimes I miss their music and I just refuse to go back though.
Is
But
it?
that wasn't it's R. Kelly.
Yeah, I thought so.
R.
Okay.
Kelly. Because it already felt kind of bad. Because like by the point I was listening to him, like I already knew he did something kind of heinous, and then it just got worse. And so like you just can't go back.
And then you
You
hit
just
him with
can't. You
the
can't
the
do it.
good old
He's a piece of
Jupiter,
shit.
Pluto,
No, stop,
Venus.
stop it. That man's a pedophile.
Oh shit.
Um, but there's a lot of yeah. But then as time went on, like I think when I was in like early high school, I was mostly listening to like metal and shit like that. But
Really?
then like
I did not know that. Well, actually, I knew the only thing I knew kind of was Pierce the Veil.
I didn't even really listen to Pierce the Veil. I wasn't even a fan of Pierce the Veil. You had one song from Pierce
Oh,
the
I
Veil
thought
that
it was like a
made me
couple songs.
no.
Okay, well, never
No.
mind.
um at the time I was like listening to very basic Avenged Sevenfold, uh was it Five Finger Death Punch, Apocalyptica.
Was it
10
like
years isn't metal, but I was listening to 10
some
years.
good old hard rock for you? I still love 10 years.
I was really into A Day to Remember for like a
Oh
month,
shit.
and then like I never listened to them again.
I only know like 2 or 3 songs by Day to Remember.
um, what is it?
So what's your music taste like today?
Oh, so I was about to get into it. So like, no, there's one more band I just had on the tip of my tongue that I was listening to. Fuck, I can't remember. Oh fuck, I can't remember. Oh no. So Dance Gavin Dance, I
Okay.
really liked. I really like the kind of fusion sound because like they'd have songs that go between metal and then jazz and then like you know because if you think about their music, it's more fusion. It's not just straight up like one of those like it's not just metal. It's not like
It's much
some
like
people would even call it scene. I don't even think it's kind of more fusion based. It's just some of their things are like a little scene. And then I realized like, I kind of only like the jazz part of some of their songs, and slowly I started migrating to more chill music.
you'll go far on the back of a potato making French fries in the snow.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and then there was like my sophomore or junior year, I was really into ska music.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I don't know why, because now I can't listen to it without cringing.
Dude,
And
I couldn't really get into ska that much. Like there were a couple songs like, oh okay, it's kind of hype, but like most of the time I'm just like, dude, I'm getting a headache listening to this.
I feel like you would be in. I get a hit migraine now. I feel like you would have liked Streetline Manifesto because they're more like punk oriented. So like it's a lot faster paced and a lot more aggressive. Not even all of their songs, but like a lot more kind of aggressive. But like over time, I'm like, dude, why am I even listening to ska at all?
One of the
And
big
then
ones, obviously, like for even my exposition to ska was obviously for a lot of people Tony Hawk. But even then, like there were points where I would turn off the ska music and just listen to like rap or TNT.
oh god, I remember listening to TNT way too many fucking times.
See me around in the sun. Anyways,
Here I am, doing everything I can.
I don't know if you knew, but Tony Hawk. I mean, pretty much everyone knows, but Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is getting a remaster or a remake or some shit.
I heard it's a full remake, like they're redoing it from the ground up.
The only assets that they were like inherited were the actual skating mechanics, which you know is
They were
good.
fine. I think they'd hold up too.
Uh,
After Skate came out, Skate kind of like wrecked it.
yeah,
For
between
everything.
Skate and Skater XL, I haven't played Skater XL. Like everyone talks about it right now, but like I really enjoyed Skate's mechanics. I thought it was very good. I still like enjoyed me some Tony Hawk Project 8. Like, and
Yeah,
apparently that one got shit on, but
it was not the best.
I enjoyed it. It was probably because I was a dumb kid and didn't know what I liked, but I'd probably
Yeah,
have like
and
the
didn't
rose-colored glasses on right now for that game. Well, I played it like a couple years ago at my sister's house because her boyfriend had it. I'm just like, dude, can I play this? And he's like, yeah, dude, get down. And I tore through a huge chunk of that game, by the way. Um,
You
and
know what's really weird, Brad?
hmm,
Do you know like Tony Hawk game that I enjoyed?
Underground, American
Oh
Wasteland.
no, no. But like the weird one that I liked, and I don't know why I liked it because it's not really a Tony Hawk game. Is more of a racing game but with skateboards.
Downhill Jam?
Downhill Jam. I played all of it.
I
I
never
beat it
played those
multiple
games.
times.
Was it good?
So it's literally a skating game with racing.
Right.
So it's only a downhill race. You do tricks to like kind of get you more speed, and like there's different routes that you can take if you know them, and there's some that are only accessible if you know how to do the proper like tricks or like maybe like a grinding path or like you have to know how to do it.
So the only thing I could think of when I think of that game is like SSX games,
Yeah.
which I used to think were fun. I don't know how I'd feel about them today. Um,
That's exactly how I thought of it, and that's the whole reason because I loved like so you at the arcade, you know the snowmobile racing games or the
dude, I think I still have a copy of Sledstorm for PS1.
see that is exactly why I enjoy Downhill Jam. I didn't like it as a skating game. I just liked it as a weird racing game.
For sure. Okay.
But
Um,
it's weird and it's funny because no one has a longboard in the game, and you can like change your skateboard. And
yeah, imagine dying fucking going downhill with some 99 or 101A
yeah,
millimeter or ABEC, like hard as fuck
like
wheels.
cartwheels
You
that aren't
hit a
gonna hit
rock,
the
you
road.
die. You literally just die.
And so the final boss that's introduced, it's just some fucking guy on a longboard.
What
It's
the
just
fuck?
some dude on a longboard. Wait, like some kind of. I'm guessing he's like a downhill legend that I don't know about. But he's just in a fucking like he's in one of those like wetsuits kind of. He's got the long helmet and he's got a longboard and he's such a pain. It took me an entire day
Oh my
to
god.
beat him the first time because he's just it's like what are you gonna do? It's like and it makes sense. He's on a fucking longboard. Like you're on a fucking 8.5 and this man's sitting here on the
That's
fucking
fucking incredible. Well, I mean, that game came out a while ago. You might not have even been on 8.5. You might have been on an 8.0 or some shit.
dude. It's stupid. It's so
That's
stupid.
incredible. Like, I now it's kind of getting me wondering, like, what childhood games like just don't hold up anymore,
And
or
they're like
like
horrible and you just didn't know it.
it's tough too, cause like ever since I started writing about shit for Crotch Block, it's made me like not hate more things, but like realize that
You're
like
scrutinizing, criticizing a lot harder than you did as a
uh,
kid.
okay, so like well, not even as a kid. So I love Young Justice, and I'm writing about Young Justice right now.
Yeah.
I started writing about episode 2 of Spider-Man the Animated Series, but I'm just like, there's literally nothing to unpack here at all. It's just, hey, send out some spider drones to kill this motherfucker.
Just kill him.
So I started writing about I keep on wanting to say Injustice, but Young Justice, and I would love to write about Injustice, the stories. Those are so good.
Oh
Um,
yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty intense though. There's like no like real like moment of reprieve or like things are chilling out. It's
they're
like, no,
fighting gods now.
it's worse.
But yeah, I started writing about Young Justice, and even then, like I realized that there's just like there's not really much to unpack here. Like the characters don't get anything to establish like who they are or what they believe in or what have you. It's just like it introduces like a couple very basic themes about like trust and teamwork and shit, but it's
Yeah.
not it. It does like a lot of spectacle, and I've been having
More
to use that
than
word a lot lately, which is annoying. But
where it's just spectacle instead of substance.
and then it does, well, it acts like it's trying to have substance. There is no substance yet because there's nothing that like builds up any of this. Like
There's
I
no
don't.
setup.
Have you watched Young Justice at all?
Can I be honest?
You just
I
didn't.
don't know. I don't know why I had no interest in it. I it came out. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I looked at it. I'm like,
Here's the
yeah,
thing.
it's cool, I guess. And I
I
just never cared to watch it.
I do think it's good. I think it's really really good. I enjoyed it so much. But yeah, like in the first episode or the first and second episode, because I'm like condensing them together because they kind of need to be, or else there's like absolutely nothing there.
Yeah,
They talk about the light. It's like this organization of people that are like, you know, hot.
douchebags.
Yeah, it's like setting up. It's just like, they rescue a clone of Superboy or Superman, which ends up being
Super
Superboy,
boy.
and
My man.
it, you know,
Sorry.
he comes from like Project Cadmus, which is like this genetic facility, which is like creating an army, and like it makes sense that they would clone Superman because Superman's one powerful bitch. Um,
It's bizarro.
uh,
Existing.
but essentially, it's just like it's done no buildup of Cadmus. It's just like, oh hey, like should we investigate Cadmus? No, there's something bigger, and then they're like, oh, like the sidekicks. It's just like, hey guys, we could go to Cadmus though. We could go to Cadmus, and it's just like, yeah, it's done no build up. It's just like, why the fuck, like, why is it so important that you go here? I know nothing about this place, and it's just like, oh,
What is this place?
the light will retrieve them, and we'll get Superboy back, and it's just like, who the fuck are you guys? Like, there's been no like grandiose build up of like why the fuck I should care about you as villains. Like, it's setting up for a lot
Yeah, but with nothing really.
with
to pay
nothing
off.
at all.
You're like, you just like wake up midway. You're like, wait a second, I don't care.
But like, just watching, yeah, it's just like, why should I care about you? Like, like all you guys are doing is just talking right now. But it does a lot of build up with no material there, which I feel
like there's
like
no
it's,
actual like payoff. It's like, oh, get hype, and
well,
then you're like,
not even
oh,
just
it's
like
a wet
payoff.
fart, like,
It's just like,
whatever.
it's like trying to build like a huge ass skyscraper, but it's built on like toothpicks right now, because it's just like there's no build up into any kind of legacy of like who the fuck you guys are. I don't know shit about you. I don't know shit about your organization. It's just like, you guys literally just came out of nowhere this episode. I know nothing of you or your
Like,
work.
oh, it's worse. So it's like it doesn't build up over the season. It's just like, oh, we don't know what's happening here. And then,
Episode
oh,
one,
we now know everything.
Episode
Yeah.
1, it introduces Cadmus, and I'm just like, dude, I don't know who the fuck Cadmus is. Like you guys are giving us like the paper thinnest idea of what they do. It's just like, oh, they've been off the grid this whole time because they've been making genomes, which produce their electricity, and that's how they've been going undetected. Oh, they have an underground facility with 52 sub-levels underground. It's just like, oh, but their front is just like a normal science
So-
research thing.
Also, real quick, I'm gonna close off the topic. Also, I listen to a lot of Anderson pop, lo-fi, and jazz now. Old school.
Sorry.
jazz.
Yeah. I did say in the beginning of the podcast, guys, that
No
Vince and
topic, no organization.
well, like, just all off Tangent City. Like, we just derail hardcore.
Yeah.
I guess I'll double back and talk about what kind of music I like.
No. They just want to know what I liked. I'm just continue.
Damn it, he's right.
Shit. I don't even care about what I like.
I'm so boring. I like a lot of different genres of music. A lot of the time, it depends on what I'm in the mood for. Like, originally, my taste was very much influenced by my parents, which ended up being a lot of Queen or Journey or The Who and things of that nature. But obviously, when you turn around like 12 or 13, or obviously it can be before that, you tend to develop your own taste of like what you like, which ended up becoming Linkin Park for a lot of my life. Like, I love Linkin Park to this day so much.
R.I.P. Chester.
Yeah, rest in peace. Love that guy. And Mike Shinoda is still, making music. He's just, like, he's doing streams of like, oh hey, like I'm gonna remix some stuff. Like, come hang out. I'm just like, dude, right on. You keep doing you. And I love interviews with Mike Shinoda. because when he like raps or something, it's just like, oh, this motherfucker is hard. But when you hear him in interviews, like, dude, this guy's like a little cupcake. He's just like the nicest person. Oh man, he's he, he's just like this bear of a person. He just comes across as like the nicest human. I'm just like, this is not what you're rapping. Like,
He's saying some mean shit.
no, it's
No.
like I love his music. You know, I love his contribution to Linkin Park. But you know, when you compare his rapping to like how he talks or presents himself, I'm like, dude, you are just like the most professional, like down to earth, like sweetest human probably, which is so funny. But anyways, music taste. My music taste didn't change too much in high school. Like I still liked a lot of hard rock. I was listening to a lot of like
I
Three
think I
Days
introduced you to R&B.
3 Days Grace. No, I've loved R&B for a long time. Like that was a big influence by my mom actually. Like she's the reason I got into 80s and 90s R&B, and then, you know, obviously some 2000 shit came out which was pretty good. But like I learned a lot of it from you, yes, but like the love of it was already there.
Yeah.
But now more than ever, I still love R&B so much, and I love all the genres of music that I've loved. But lo-fi has been a big one because I I just want to chill and be sad, dude. It's so good to like just do whatever to. Like I don't feel like getting hype angry or teenage angsty all the fucking time. Like I just want like a chill beat, a nice melody,
You're relaxed as a person.
and I would say I'm a lot more relaxed as a person, generally. But you can literally do whatever to lo-fi. You can study, sleep. I can go out and
Yeah, I
skate.
know. That one girl taught me everything. That one
That
girl.
one study girl.
One girl.
What a studious child.
Just flipping the same page over and over again
I
for
feel like
how
I
I
probably would have liked lo-fi way back when,
if
anyways.
it about it.
Yeah, but you know, it's just perfect for a lot of shit. You know, you can go for a long drive. I tend to read manga a lot to lo-fi or do some writing personally.
I draw a fuck ton.
Yeah, exactly. That's one too. It just suits a lot of different shit. If you want to rap to something for some reason, like if you're into freestyle, and you can do that too, man. It just works for a lot of shit.
Well, like part of the thing is like it kind of has a drunken rhythm to it, which is like a thing for like early hip hop, and like I continue video on it for like music. You'll understand like a lot of it. Like it'll teach you a shit ton.
Mm.
By Adam Neely, he actually goes over it really well and brings up a lot of good points. But part of the thing is like the more sloppy you deliver it, the more real and like human it feels, because you know we're not perfect beings. Like,
Is that like related to like swing?
kind of, but not really, because swing is very organized. But like
Okay.
just so like if you go like on an even beat and then all of a sudden you just kind of flop up part of it. I'm not a drummer. I'm trying to get better. But, like if I can think of an example. So like say you're like let's go.
By the way, guys, he's jerking off on the other end. Um,
But like if you like
I
slow down like a couple hits,
I kind of get
all of a
what you
sudden
mean.
real.
But it's I'll have to look it up. You'll have to show me something. But
Okay.
what's all right, let's talk about taste of games. Like we kind of talked about some weird games we'd probably play way back when, but not now. Like how's your taste in games changed from when you were a kid to now?
If I'm being real, they haven't much. Like actually, it's kind of sad because
Would
I'm
you still play
constantly
Downhill Jam today?
out. But like, okay, so like my favorite games growing up were like the Mega Man games, like specifically ZX Advent. I enjoyed classic Mega Man. Specifically, I played two, like I think about 80 times throughout one summer when I was like 8, I think.
God damn.
I played through, and then like when I was like 13, I was like, God damn, I missed Mega Man 2, and then it was on the iOS store or some shit, and I downloaded that shit and I played it so much more. But my favorite kind of games are actually JRPGs, tactical RPGs. I like to be honest, like I enjoy playing shooters for like fun stuff like that. Like, but the games I enjoyed most growing up, like if I in my youngest days were RPGs, like um, Final Fantasy Tactics. Uh, I started playing Disc Guy when I broke my leg because I had like a fuck. I need something to fill my fucking time. Disc Guy is cool. It's just kind of like I don't care about the story at all, so it's kind of like making me not care about anything about it. Like, and I play, like it's fun, but like it feels like the story to me, like it just stopped mattering like real quick. I enjoyed Fire Emblem a lot as a kid.
Do you think you could
Um,
be like a little bit closer to your mic?
I enjoyed Valkyria Chronicles, shit like that. Like I enjoyed a lot of different like RPGs,
Hmm.
and then like fuck was it? I started playing some action RPG. Like I just like role playing games. It didn't matter like the scenario. I just liked turn based. Like obviously there's Pokemon, but shit where I could just like stop and chill for a second or like not have to like it's calming for me growing up. I don't know why.
Not
And
be
like
like
for
as actively involved in something.
yeah, and then like I enjoyed platformers a shit ton, but like action platformers where you actually do something I don't like just jumping around. Like I enjoyed Mario, but like not enough to like go
I
back and play a Mario game. Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
played Mario.
no. So, and sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I I like platformers, but it's never really been something that I've just like, oh damn, I want to play some fucking Mario right now, dude.
Oh, you know what? It just reminded me. Metrovania games, Metroid, Castlevania. Those games were like some of my favorite fucking platformers, or like like action RPG or just RPGs in general to play.
Yeah, I
Like,
love how people have taken like the concept of, and this isn't anything new, but like a Metroidvania and taken it to like a three-dimensional space like Dark Souls.
well,
Um,
yeah, there's that, but also like there's a few other games before that
yeah,
that did.
obviously, like but obviously, Dark Souls is a big one for me. It's a big one for you, and a lot of people are
Hey,
familiar with the name.
do you know what's a hidden gem of a Game Boy Metrovania?
My experience with Game Boy games were lacking. I feel like, but please
Oh,
go ahead.
one of the fuck. I need to find it. I might still have it on me. Actually, hold on. You're gonna. Okay. Which
Also,
one is it?
Alex was telling me about an anime for The World Ends with You.
Yes. Oh, The World Ends with You was one of my favorite fucking games growing up, and it was one thing that made me feel like, hey, I need to get out of my fucking shell and be a human being. After some holy shit, how could I not mention that? That game's really good. I'm so excited anime is coming out.
Yeah, okay. So now that's something huge. Like what it's very cool and just kind of amazing how a game or a movie or book or whatever the fuck like makes you develop as a person. Um
Yeah, like where it influences you in a way where it kind of opens up your mind to new ideas or new shit like that. Like when you like become so involved, and like I feel like reading is like a big thing for a lot of people, but like games, like growing up, like were a bigger thing for me because like um I read like almost every book in my house by like a certain age, so it became this thing where I'm like, fuck, there ain't shit here to read. I didn't have access to the internet, so I was like, okay, I'll try games, and like holy shit, that's part of the reason, like because the game has a lot of story to it that like makes you feel like it fucking matters. um all the characters feel like, I wouldn't even say fleshed out, but they seem like very connected. Even when I go back, it's just, and the gameplay is like really fun too, and like the power skill, like you feel like your accumulation of power throughout the game, you feel it. But the thing is, it's like you feel bad for the characters. You feel like pity, and like when it ended, it made like I cried when I first beat it, and like I actually like fucking cried. but like there's this thing where like there's this message from like just by the title of the game versus the title of the game that changed when you beat the game, and it's this thing like the main character, he's a very closed off person. Like he lives in one of the busiest cities in Japan, and he's wearing headphones constantly because he doesn't want to hear anything fucking around him. He doesn't want to hear the people, don't hear anything like that. He just wants to look at graffiti and not hear a single fucking word from anyone's fucking mouth. And he's like such a prick. He's such a selfish prick at the beginning, and slowly, as he meets the other characters throughout the game and his other party members, he slowly becomes a more open person. He starts caring. He starts showing that he cares, and it becomes like a huge moment of growth for him. And then any like most people who play video games a lot as like solo video games tend to people who play MMOs and shit like that, and multiplayer games, or you play together, you tend to have connection with people during that whole experience, so you tend to develop more social interaction skills, and you kind of build up your not tolerance to people, but your ability to communicate with ease and kind of just relax into it and not feel pressured by talking to people. You don't feel like, fuck, I have to talk to this person, or I really you kind of develop those skills there. But then in a solo RPG, you kind of blank out and go completely solo and lock yourself in a room so no one can fucking bug you, shit like that.
Mm.
But throughout the process of this game, it kind of makes you feel like, shit, I should open up more. A lot of the people like the play that's oh, maybe I'm a little too selfish. Maybe I especially if you're young, because when I played that game, I was 12 or 13 when I first played it. And because I think that's when it released. It was this thing where I was very closed off. Until high school, I didn't really have many friends that actually stayed with me through the years. And that kind of made me feel more inclined to open up, because that game is all about the slowly opening up, and even in these dire situations when you can be focused on saving yourself, the main character shows you that he works harder and has to go through more bullshit because he cares about the other people that are suffering with him rather than just saving himself at a certain point. And at the beginning, he's forced to you're forced to have a partner, you're forced to work with them, but it becomes this thing where it just opens up and it makes you feel like maybe I should open up. I went on too long of a tangent. I apologize.
No, that is a-okay. That's kind of what we're here for. Like I said, we don't really have any topics. Tangents are more than welcome, and it's very nice to think of a game that, well, obviously the obvious thing is makes you feel something or develop as a person. I can't say the last time I felt something while I was playing a game. I don't remember what part it was, but I think it was Persona 5 Royal. And
Yeah, Personas and
I hate turn-based combat, but this is the one exception where I'm just I can more than tolerate this. The experience of that game, I'm 100% there for the story. The combat is not what draws me to this game or makes me want to come back to the game.
But you
And yeah, I'll enjoy the combat for what it is. I'm just all right, as far as turn-based combat goes, this is acceptable. It's just, but the story and seeing how these characters develop and finding their ultimate forms of themselves makes me, it's just all right, I can push through this fucking turn-based combat to see how these characters grow. Apart from that, I think the last game that made me really feel something or impacted me was probably Spider-Man. And that's just because, reasons.
I mean, it's the Spodermans. There's all kinds of sad shit.
Yeah, dude.
I want to retrospect video. Follow on Crouchblock if you want to see that one. That came out a while ago.
Remember to subscribe for more gaming, or not even just gaming, because videos on Crouchblock can literally be tied to anything. I feel like the games I appreciate now more than ever are games or books or movies that give me something to chew on, an idea or concept to really maybe not food for the soul, but the best thing I think of is like something to chew on. Like it's just like something to really think about. It's like, damn, that does hit some kind of way. Like I
Yeah,
I couldn't think off the top of my head of like what game introduced what concept to me that was just like groundbreaking because it's probably been a while. Um, but like I don't know, like a super shallow version would be like I think it was the Evil Within or something like that, where
I see what you mean.
you're like the detective or whatever. Maybe I'm confusing games.
No, you are a detective.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, like super super kiddie pool shallow version of this would be like, oh, not everything is as it seems, so like don't take it at face value. That's like a
I can
super
get.
generic example.
Yeah.
But yeah, like giving the player something to think about in the back of their head, like amidst or like during, while you're having these play sessions or after the play sessions, is super important to me because it's making me think or feel some type of way about the game that is impacting me enough to like continuously think about it. Like, shallow surface level games are fine. It's just like if I enjoy the mechanics, I enjoy the story, but there's nothing beyond that. Nothing I can like, really. I guess a good one would be Last of Us. Um, how I compared the situation to Batman and Portal, and I know that was a very weird reach, but in my head it made some kind of sense, right? I explained it the best I could. I was just like, oh, the case of Batman
Oh,
where the case of the Batman where it's just like one life for many, and it introduces the idea of the companion cube. It's just like, all right, attach the idea behind the companion cube, like attached, becoming attached to an inanimate object because you're exposed to it
yeah.
constantly. You're made to progress the game with this thing, and just attach a name, feelings, this person's ambitions, and then boom, you have a very good recipe to get invested in these characters.
Also, remember to watch The Last of Us retrospective on
Dude, my
Crouchmark.
guy, my guy. Hell
Oh,
yeah, baby.
drop a like on that as well. Send it to your friends.
Yeah.
But I see what you mean, where it's this like kind of thing where it's just a combination of so many elements to make you fuck about everything that's going on.
By the way, subscribe to Vandal Panda. Link in the
Oh,
description.
someone's uploading an art video today. Hopefully.
Oh shit! You
Yeah,
guys
I'm drawing
want
right
some
now.
fucking saucy ass, thick OG, triple OG art?
It's that samurai one. It's not the. Although you say, I'm drawing Minot right now from Street Fighter. So you know what? You're not correct about that one, but currently, you're very right.
Uh,
I'm full of shame.
so upon talks, this is totally unrelated, by the way. Upon talks of a second stimulus dropping, I'm kind of torn right now because I really would like to buy a new graphics tablet because having the disconnect between this fucking piece of shit tablet on my lap and looking at the screen in front of me, like not being able to look at exactly what I'm drawing on, huge disconnect, and I fucking hate it. By the way,
It changes only everything.
and
Really.
it's between that and
You can get the same one I have for like I think it's back to 600, but there's some cheaper alternatives.
yeah, I would go for a cheaper alternative. Chances are I'm going to buy the graphics tablet and just bite the bullet when the PS5 comes out and just be like, look, I got time. I got time to save up for it, so it's fine.
By the way, Bradley,
Hmm.
I just wanted to point out because I feel like if Brandon were to watch this specifically, he would be upset because I said, you know what's a fucking gem of a hidden Metrovania Game Boy classic that no one really knows about?
Metroidvania.
I'm gonna say it now. Yeah,
What's
I'm
up?
gonna say it now just in case. Shaman King, Master of Spirits 1. Not 2. I played both. 2 is not nearly as good. But 1, holy shit.
I
Good fucking game.
I haven't played any of the Shaman King games.
Well, those are the only two worth playing. The other ones are like
There,
RPGs that aren't as fun.
there, there's so many games to get to, like, and like there are games that I've started, but like you get sidetracked, you put it down for too long. Like I haven't even finished the original BioShock, which
Holy shit! You still fucking finished
No, dude,
Bioshock?
it's like I fucking put it down. I get other shit to work on, and then it's just like, dude, it's been like months since I played this game, which
I have. You know what problem I have
hmm,
with that? It's just there's so many other games that like, cause like the biggest killer for me right now is League and fucking Valorant. Like it's so hard because there's just you play the one game, you have fun, you have a fucking miserable time, and then you move on with your life. And I'm like, now I have to sit down and like play a story game for like hella hours to feel like I progressed at all. I'm like,
I so I've kind of like flip flopped as a gommer, a pro gommer, and like what I look for in a game, I guess, because I used to be when I got my first exposure to like online gaming and like playing the Call of Duties and being the best quick scoper I could be, like that was the shit, when
we all had that dream,
so
especially in MW2.
but yeah, I enjoyed so much the like player versus player interaction, and I still enjoy it to varying degrees now, but like, you know, it's just like, oh, is this game online? Can I fucking potentially shit on some noobs? Let's make it happen.
I need to express my authority.
But now I enjoy the single player dynamic so much more than like online multiplayer. Like I like online games for just playing with friends.
I
Um,
think part of I think part of the reason too is your retrospectives. In my opinion, I think it helps you because you are, how do I put it? Because you are actually like chewing those games up. You're getting every digestible piece, and you're like actually thinking about it. So you're actually enjoying the. I feel like you open your mind to like enjoy the game more. So then when you're actually playing it and you figure out what you like about that game, you're actually like, oh, I really like this game. This is why I like this. This is why I kind of get.
and I guess like internally, I'm able to emphasize why I like this game or hate this game. I guess that
Yeah,
much more.
Last of Us 2.
Honestly, it hasn't been bad. Like I as it stands right now, I'm not super far into the game. Like I've had a chunk of a handful of hours. I don't remember how long the game is, but it hasn't been bad. Like so,
Just give it.
I mean, if it ends up being really shitty,
Just give it time.
then so be it. But one big thing has already happened.
I think I'm not gonna try to influence what you think about it. You're gonna go through it. You're gonna have your own opinion, and I'll
And
respect
then,
whatever.
god damn it, I'm gonna write about it.
And God damn it, you're right.
And the thing with the retrospective videos, like the thing that got me started on them was one retrospective video, and I think I've probably talked to you about this before. I've talked to Brandon about it. Was a Batman Arkham series retrospective. This has maybe been my favorite video that I've ever watched in the history of ever. It's just this guy.
What about my video?
Well, like, so he's the reason I got started on retrospectives. I'm just like, he sat down, he unpacked the whole Arkham series, all 4 games, in one video. The video was like hour 45 minutes long. But I shit you not, I've probably listened to that video because I downloaded it and I listened to it at work when like there's like a dry period. I've probably listened to that video like 100 times, and every time I don't get tired of it because how he's talking about these games is like so just fascinating. He's talking about every aspect between one game from another, like how I don't want to go too much into it because it's not my own video, but he delivers and conveys his feelings and thoughts of the games very well. That's all I'm gonna say. But he conveyed things so well. It's just like I never thought I would feel these ways. He completely influenced my opinion on the Arkham games as a whole. I still like and love the Arkham games,
You
and
played them a long time before you watched that video too. I remember you were trying to get me to.
for the gosh, how do I used to think Arkham City was the best one, and I still very much enjoy it. I love it a lot. I think it's a good game. At the end of the day, how the studio has developed with Rocksteady is that, once you look back on the games from playing one from another, like if you play Arkham Asylum, like, it's a cool Batman game. Everything in that game though is super like one dimensional or vanilla, and if you look at Arkham City, there's like a lot of external reading to be done there before like any of this can make sense. Like you can't just play Arkham City on its own and enjoy the game where it's just like, oh, who the fuck are these characters? And like the best way he said it is it presents caricatures more than it presents characters. Like these very shallow, one-dimensional versions.
They
Yeah.
just kind of flat. There you go.
So, and he kind of shat on Origin, and who wouldn't, to be honest, a bit. But he's just like, I have tried so hard to enjoy this game, and I'm glad to say I found some things to actually award it to. Like, it's got very good like art design, like the musical presentations there, like the voice acting is fantastic, but the story is shit. the it Yeah, I liked it conceptually. Uh, of where was I going with this? I don't even remember where I was going with Origin. But he's just like, oh, I used to think Arkham City was my favorite game in the franchise, but that has quickly been overshadowed by Arkham Knight. This is the only game that makes me feel like Batman anymore. And yeah, I'm not going into it anymore. It's just a hell of a video. I can't even think of portraying things how he did. He just does a fantastic job. It's one of those ones where you just gotta watch it to understand it. And maybe if you even watch it, you'll understand. It's just like, oh, okay, I can see how this potentially influenced me of how I structure my retrospectives. It's just a hell of a watch. And I've tried to get Brandon to watch it, but I'm just like, this motherfucker's not gonna watch this shit. I'm just like, it. It's so good. He gives the viewer a lot to digest within the video and introduces a lot of good concepts between each games and his thoughts of the games. It's just one big chunk of good video.
At work, I'll listen to it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Send me a link,
I will absolutely send it to you, and then you'll be like, "Damn, I want to make retrospectives now."
To be honest, I've been for a while. The
Mhm.
thing is, I just like can't think of too many games like I want to give the time of day because like lately, like there hasn't been, much that
It's
I've been like super hyped for, or there hasn't been and there's games where I'm like, oh, I get hyped for them and I start playing them. And
I I very much get that because like I don't just want to write about every game I play.
yeah,
It's gotta, at the bare minimum, make me feel something, or like I was saying earlier, like introduce a concept that gives me something to like, gives me something to chew on through the duration of playing this game. And if that concept is good and holds up the experience of the game, chances are I'll probably want to write about it.
yeah, but it has to. You can't force yourself to do it. It's gotta just kind of like come naturally, and like you just kind of actually like I want to talk more about this game because I enjoyed the fuck out of it, rather than. And you know what's sad too? You know what's sad when I think about it. I think about how like when I think about like certain games that like I spent hella time on, and I think like, what could I have done?
My coffee's room temp, by the way.
Oh fuck! You might as well blow your brains out, dude.
I know. Sorry, go
But
ahead.
like at a certain point, you're like, if I did anything else instead of this game, or like spent time that like like you get that like that retroactive like feeling of remorse. I get that with every single Call of Duty game I ever played.
I the main reason I'll ever play Call of Duty anymore is probably for zombies. I tried to enjoy Black Ops 4. I tried to enjoy the Battle Royale for it. Battle Royale and Black Ops 4 super vanilla. I know I use this phrase a lot for
But there's
vanilla,
the gulag.
but no, that's Warzone.
Oh, I
But
don't
Black
fuck.
Ops 4, like you had a big map, but it didn't do a good job at making these places that I know it's not Call of Duty's job to make these places or experience feel real, or you know, I guess you could say the world that we're playing in, and calling it a world is a very far stretch. The world that we're in is just not interesting. Like it's just so bland
Play it.
and dry. Like I
It's not like Valorant where you hop in a map and you're like, what the fuck goes on here on a day-to-day basis? Like,
yeah, like okay, a perfect example. Yeah, Valorant. These maps that we're playing in, you know, have character. In this Call of Duty Battle Royale map between Black Ops 4 and Warzone, it has no character. It has no charm. Like when you're going through, I'm just like, oh, there's a fucking silo I can camp
that's
out
part
in.
of, in my mind, that's part of the reason Fortnite took off the way it did because it had a lot more charm. Like, because PUBG was already there for hell years, but there's a lacking of charm. If you really look at it, it's like all just grayscale, and it's like, well, I don't fucking care. It's just, oh, this is the building where I usually find shit. But then you
Oh,
look
yeah.
at Fortnite, where like just in art style, it makes it easier.
Yeah,
It's
it's
more
far
attractive.
more interesting. Like, yeah, even just with the art style.
And
Sorry to cut you off.
I fucking hate Fortnite. Don't get me wrong. I hate that game. I was so mad when you tried to make me play that game for like however long you were into it. I still hate it to this day. That's not the point. I think they just did the job better, and like that's the reason why, like CS:GO. We played a bit of CS:GO. I kind of died off on it. Care about like look at it's like, oh, I'm here again, and it's bland. It's so bland that I start wanting to puke. It's just shit.
So,
And then Valorant, I'm like, oh, I actually enjoy these maps. I enjoy looking at these maps. Like, even if I can't get character skins or anything like that, like, I enjoy it. I enjoy looking at the area. I enjoy playing the game. And I don't feel like I'm going to die out on this game for a while. It's just, it's like, it's not even just because it's new and fresh. It's just what's there. I can look at it like a bunch of times and I get sick of it. Like, I even
yeah,
got sick of
you
Portal
you can look
after
at that fucking like
hours.
you can look at that on Split that Scuttle Shack and be like, oh, it's cool that the idea of like, oh, people ate there, or you see the bike shop or whatever the fuck.
You see that scuttle crabs are a real thing, and those people eat them, and there are a bunch of dead ones to the left of you.
But like, it adds something to the map. It adds character to the map. It's just like, oh, people like probably, and you can kind of say the same about Call of Duty, but the way it does it is better, like worse off, because it's just like, oh, you have a gas station there, like, oh, people go and get gas there. I'm just like, oh, that's not charming. That's just a fucking gas station.
Even like in Black Ops 2, there was some really bland maps. There was like the one where it's like that mansion that has like that's hella baller, and like there's like the cars there. It's like a really shitty map to play
More or
on, but
less.
it's interesting. Like if you actually go in there and you look at it, like
Oh
Borderlands,
yeah, yeah.
Black
Okay, I
Ops
do remember.
Black Ops 2 had like a lot of like maps that you kind of look around and oh, this is actually really cool because they were kind of playing with that, future concept, like what would be cool future, like this dude's rich, what future shit would he have, or like shit like that, or like even like when Nuketown 2025, and you're looking at like shit from the future, and you're like, okay, why like everything here is futuristic now, but it still looks like it's from the 50s or 60s. It's trippy, right? And
It's kind of
there's
like
like a few
Fallout.
things yeah, there's a few things that you enjoyed looking at. I mean, they're kind of interesting, although you never fucking look at them because it's it's Call of Duty.
You're busy fucking shooting people in the face and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's just a lot of the spark that like those games even had, like because Black Ops was like really popular, especially because like Modern Warfare was popular, like more for them two specifically is really popular, and like Black Ops took Modern Warfare because it had a little bit more charm to it, and then now all of that charm, all of that like spark, is like gone. Like they've been like creatively like gone for a while,
yeah,
but now it's more like distinctly like, oh, there ain't shit here for them.
my favorite Call of Duty in the franchise still is World at War. Actually, I I enjoyed the gunplay online. I didn't give a shit about the tanks. I hated the tanks. I thought the maps were good. I thought I was actually able to get through the story multiple times. Like the zombies, their first introduction or iteration, um, and the maps to me are still very charming. And obviously we talked about that a lot. Like, and they're still charming to this day to me. Like they still have the appeal. The original appeal that was there upon its initial release or initial incarnation is still like prevalent to this day. And I'm just like, this still either one makes me reminisce of the time it took my breath away, or it still takes my breath away.
Yeah, and it's hard. I feel like lately to get a game that actually does that. Besides, oh, you know what game actually did that to me?
What would that be?
I don't think you really played it too much or at all. But Horizon Zero Dawn.
I
That game takes your fucking breath away.
I have not
Like,
played Horizon Zero Dawn. I've heard a lot about it. It's definitely piqued my curiosity. I'm just like, well,
it's a good game. It's kind of short. The story, like, I feel like the strength of it is not in the story, but more so the environment and just kind of like, what the fuck is like all this cool shit? Like, it's so cool. And like graphically, oh my god, it looks so good.
so it's
It
all
looks
about and say it with me now, spectacle.
respect. No, there's a lot of substance because there's substance in like every little thing. Like just like you go to this like they're like, oh, this ancient tower, and it's like this huge radio tower, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? Or like you're like looking around and like it's like Dark Soul, where like instead of having someone sit there and be like, there is cases of it where like this is how the world for. It's just kind of like you look at it and you're like, holy shit, how could it? You just it gets you thinking, you're like, how the fuck did this happen? Like you see this giant giraffe, and like it's a giraffe, and it's a fucking giant satellite dish on top of a fucking head of a giraffe thing that's hella tall that you have to climb up. And when you scan it, you like it's like the Far Cry or the Assassin's Creed Eagle, and you start like you can understand what's around you. But it's like this whole thing. I just like, what the fuck is this environment? Like, how did the world get to this fucking point? Why are there robo animals everywhere? Why are they like? Why is like all this crazy shit going on? We're like cavemen, but there's robo animals.
Yeah. So when you said like, how did the world get to this point? It definitely made me think of The Last of Us. But super off topic, by the way. The only reason I brought it up was because I said spectacle. You commented on one of my FGC videos about how I was talking about teams for you guys, and then you're like, oh, I love the idea of calling Andrew a man of spectacle, and that made me laugh.
Well, it's because like Andrew, the man of spectacle.
Well, he just like circus performer, but like
Yeah.
when I think about like the characters Andrew like looks at or looks for, like it is really true. Like he looks at like the biggest, probably like most grandiose in some way or fashion character in the game. It's just like, oh, I want to play that one, which is totally fine. Like there's
I mean, if you can't look cool doing it, what's the fucking point?
I don't know, you just got your fucking EX Tatsus and your Hadokens and your
Your Hadokins. That's not style. You know what style? Playing Monat and wanting to blow your brains out for 6 hours. Because you can't do the ball combos.
so
Because your fingers suck.
something that I did want to bring up last time when we talked about fighting games for an extensive period of time was that like what I thought fighting game tutorials were lacking, and I talked about last time how there are good fighting game tutorials. Like an example would be Guilty Gear, Unist, or Under
Yeah,
Night.
I
I
was gonna
mean,
say,
and Skullgirls is another one. Something I actually liked for Injustice. The only thing I liked about Injustice. No,
projectiles, I hope.
I think the game is fine. No, but like in the character lessons, it'll tell you that like, oh hey, you're gonna use this move. This is exactly what this move is for, by the way. It'll tell you it's just like, oh, use this to get them away from you, keep them mid screen or whatever. Oh, you can EX this. I always say EX.
Oh yeah, when they say it's like do this mid screen, do like
Or
this is
just
like
like, oh, oh, this combination of buttons is like a clever high-low mix-up to keep your opponents guessing about your pressure. I'm just like, you know what? I'm really glad that they tell you these things how they tell you them. Like, other fighting game tutorials can be good, but they won't always
Tell
tell you
you,
exactly what these things are for, what situations that arise.
but
That's just like, hey, this is prime example of where you should use this move.
in that game, all you need is a projectile character, and then you just win.
The coolest zoner I actually ever found was in Injustice and is Dr.
Doctor
Fate.
Fate. Yeah,
Yeah, he's so sick. Oh man.
I love him. Andrew hated when I played Doctor Fate, and then he picked Doctor Fate to show me how it felt, and God, does it feel bad.
He literally probably is the coolest zoner I've ever seen.
It's so cool. You know what? I think you know who's also a really cool zoner?
Hmm.
Chaos from Under Night, just for the wall bounce shit that you
I
do
I
to me.
do think he is pretty fun.
More about your because I saw your Byakuya. I heard you. Like, he's cool, but he's more of a fun character. But I don't think I'd reliably play him because I don't like topic.
No, yeah, I like him conceptually.
I
Uh,
just like you put the book to the fucking face and he pushed you
just like knowledge, bitch.
so fucked up. It was like, are you allowed to do that without
I I
without the?
I also think Chaos's normals are very cool. Like
They are.
I don't really get captivated by a character's normals, but they're not just generic normals.
They're like pretty unique.
And what he's doing isn't even crazy. You know, it's still punches and kicks and shit. It's just like how these
It's
punches
the
and kicks.
way
I
they
don't know.
deliver.
It's
It's
so.
like watching. Uh, it's like watching. Like it's like League.
Mhm.
Like you're like, oh, like every character runs, and then Jin came out. It's like this motherfucker's just walking.
He's just strutting at you.
And then you say like he's like in like you're used to like ADCs like rapid fire, and then he just like pulls out the revolver and these big ass hits. He's like putting his whole body to like brace the fucking
Come in,
recoil.
reloading.
And like the fourth shot, it's just like when you see it happen, you're just like, "Ugh!" It feels powerful. Therefore, it is powerful.
That's like the one thing about League. League League is
I've been wanting to
cool.
play League this morning, by the way, but you're like podcast, so I just stopped myself. I'm like shit. Okay,
I mean,
it's time.
we can play in a bit, but
I want to get more through the podcast and like just have talk about stuff and well, actually, I think what we should do for part of this podcast.
hmm.
Set up topics for the next one, so we're organized.
Talk about Raid Shadow Legends.
You bitch.
So
That-
something. So, you know, I say all the time how I hate League. I don't actually hate League, but like
you hate the people who
I
play
just don't enjoy it as much. Like as far as like playing games with a friend, like sure, it's the only game I can really play with Andrew because he doesn't play Valorant.
Although he should, with his fucking flick snipes with that fucking Marshall.
I mean, I'm just like, hey, if you don't want to play the game, whatever. And I know you are too, but you want him once again bringing it back up a topic from last podcast. Like, you know, you want other people to enjoy the things that you're enjoying, like and like understand it's just like, hey, this is some good shit. You could probably like this too. But with League, uh, as I said, it's one of the things I can play with Andrew. One of the only things, but
You could play Destiny.
the I really don't have an interest in Destiny, to be honest.
I haven't for a while too, but I might play some more. I've been interested in playing FF14 again. Sorry, my bad.
No, you're totally good.
How I interrupted you. So
I was just collecting my thoughts, anyways. But one of the appealing things to me about League is loving a character and becoming so proficient with them that it doesn't matter if you get counterpicked, right?
or if they're meta or not.
Yeah, so like, prime example, Skarner main's out there, Rise Up, whatever.
Well, you like Scythe.
I like what?
Silas.
I do like Silas. Silas is very strong. He's a fun character. I don't know much of his character. I like he's imprisoned in Demacia or whatever and broke free and all that stuff.
They gave him a lot of story for, for when he came out because there's so much shit about him in the comics.
But like I haven't truly in a while been like so infatuated with the idea of the play of a character or the character at its core, like what their lore is or anything like that. I haven't been so like in love with the idea of one character that it just makes me want to main the shit out of them. Like I'm enjoying Riven, but it's not like
It's more of just you're playing here because you have to work harder,
I
and it's satisfying
it is
rather
very
than like
satisfying when you do get up and rolling. It's very hard to get up and rolling, but like if you're a hardcore Riven one trick main, or maybe not even just that, like you can obviously be good at Riven just cause. Um, but I think the last character I really felt like investing in a lot of time to getting better in was actually Jace. Um,
I feel like I inspired that not because of you seeing me play him, nothing like that, but because that one time where I was explaining to someone else like top lane picks, and I was talking about how you play Jace, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Shit, man, you make me want to play Jace."
I think that was probably it too. But yeah, Jace was like appealing as a character because like one, his kit was very interesting,
Very unique amongst
and
the cast.
two, like he wasn't inherently overpowered, especially at the time. Like
Mm-mm.
he was kind of
He
like
still,
he was kind of exactly neutral, where it could very much go one way or another. Sure, you can have your comebacks as Jace, but like it was all for Jace. It was all about your mechanical soundness with the character, and that's very much how it is for Riven as well. But like when I play Riven, it's not the same as Jace. Like I feel like she's on the weaker end of that spectrum. Like I talked about how she's a snowball character big time, where like, hey, if you get rolling downhill, you'll collect a lot of snow and you'll be able to run over fellas. But if no one pushes you, you're kind of just gonna melt there. So
yeah, I see what you mean.
like, and when I hit people with my, it goes back to the old pool noodle phrase. You Riven's damage is like a wet pool noodle. Like the damage is surprising at first when you get hit with it, but then you take a second and realize it didn't hurt that bad.
Well, you need to get those empowered auto attacks mixed in there. Her passive is literally a sheen.
Yeah, I mean, I know and I'm sure part of it is I don't have the fullest understanding of the character. I haven't really like I haven't even read her abilities. Like I know what they do, more or less, and probably less on that side, but like
You want me to give a quick explanation then?
not really.
Okay.
I'll look it up or something, or maybe look at a
I'll
guide.
tell you later. I'll tell you later. Well,
No.
it's the way I can describe it. It's not even just a Riven thing, but there's like those characters where a lot of their power just comes from their passive, where
Mhm.
like their passive ties everything together. So the thing about Riven is a lot of, if you think about it, because like her abilities do damage, yeah, but they're mostly about keeping on top of people while suppressing them. And then your autos that get empowered like a Sheen proc in between each ability cast becomes a lot of the damage. It's like Echo, right? He does a decent amount of damage, but if he didn't have the 3 hit, like all of a sudden everything pops. Like that's where a lot of his damage comes from, is that 3 hit passive. When the
For
3 hit
sure.
passive hits, it does a huge chunk, and you're like, oh, I'm fucking dead now.
It,
And then like his E passive lets him, or his W passive lets him execute like certain target, do execute damage. It's the same shit, right? Fiora wouldn't be as strong without her passive.
so
Like
sorry to cut you off. When I was I've been trying to figure out like a different way to play Riven as opposed to just like, oh, you just build a phage item like cleaver essentially all the time. and then build damage or something, or people will go straight damage item like lethality or whatever. But the thing that I saw that was the most interesting was actually I picked Gnosis into Riven. Like I was gonna play Riven, but it got picked, so I
So you
played
picked off.
Gnosis on top. Actually, no, that's not how it went. I didn't want to play Riven top lane, so I played Gnosis because I haven't played top lane in forever. I got filled into top, and someone picked Riven after the fact when I picked Gnosis. I'm just like, oh, this should go interestingly. And the Riven actually ended up doing really good. Not necessarily in lane. She kind of got fed elsewhere.
Yeah.
And she was building crit. And I thought that was like super, super interesting. I'm like, like that sounds, well, obviously interesting, right? Like,
Well, it makes those empowered autos ridiculous, and then like if you build her kind of like Tryndamere with if you go Essence Reaver first item, even though she doesn't have mana, the CDR, the raw AD and the crit fills in so many stats for her to just make her like pop off.
but yeah, like prior to that, like I tried the crit build out of what I remember, and it was probably off. Like I knew Essence Reaver, and I knew Death Stance was one item that she used. But above and beyond that, I was kind of freestyling. I couldn't really remember. Um, but the problem with our team was 4 out of 5 of us were already crit, and I'm just like, damn it, whatever. But I did it anyways. We ended up losing, but I think I did the best on the team still. I was only negative by 1 kill. I think I was like 6, 7, and 5. And for
Versus
like,
like the rest of the team being like,
yeah, we got fucked over. I was the only one that was kind of doing anything, which out of what I remember. But Riven to me is the most fun on mid lane, just because you're not. Conquer feels very good for top because there is that sense of sustained battle, but I've been trying electrocute on mid,
oh
just as
yeah,
like a better burst potential. But obviously with
yeah.
electrocute, there's a bit of a fall off there outside of lane. You get your one initial burst of electrocute, and then it just kind of
Well,
goes downhill in team fights.
well, that's the thing though. Riven's really good at team fighting, especially with Triumph because she stacks it up hella quick because all of her abilities are AOE. She can spam one of them, and then you weave autos in between, so it gives you 2 stacks, 2 stacks, 2 stacks, 2 stacks, or 3 stacks. Like it maxes you out.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out like what keystone and like Conquer is cool. Like Conquer works, especially like when it turns into team fight territory. My idea behind Electrocute was,
It gives you more lane power.
yeah,
It gives you a
exactly,
lot more of that 1v1 potential because a lot of the mid lane characters aren't going to try to trade with you as long.
but it doesn't. Uh, you really, with Electrocute, you really have to get like fed or something in lane to actually get up and rolling.
Yeah.
But if you get out of laning phase with like neutral no kills or like down a kill or maybe just even like up just 1 kill, like you're 1-0 or something, chances are you're not going to be doing too much. It feels like for
Yeah.
me. So I'm trying to work out like what the best like keystone. Like I don't want to just default to Conquer. Like I want to like experiment a bit with her.
Well, what I would suggest actually is if you're fighting like a mage that's just going to poke you and run, you're better off going Thunderlords for getting that easy pop damage. But if you're fighting like a Diana and a Kali, Yasuo, anything that wants to fight you for an extended amount of time, that wants to trade with you, go Conqueror because you're gonna end up getting the sustain off of Conqueror. You're gonna get that damage boost. It's gonna be really strong for her kit because it basically becomes a Death Dance without having Death Dance for the healing
Now
potential.
what about? I was gonna say like a resolve tree.
You could, but I think for her, you're better off playing offensive rather than tanky because a lot of her tankiness and survivability comes from AD, just on the shield, and her ability to lock somebody down and like take away their potential to fight back. She's a bully. I think what you need to do is when you're playing these characters a shit ton, like I did with Gangplank and like Nudu and a few other characters, is you need to figure out how to change your runes to what you're going against.
That's fair.
Like you're like instead of just like I started playing Talia again, I was doing pretty good because I was like, okay, in this matchup I'm gonna want this. Like this matchup, this one, or like this matchup I can actually do a lot. So I think this or this matchup I'm not gonna be doing too much, so I might as well set the team. And with Riven, I feel like she does have a lot of options, especially in the not triumph, the orange page where you have your you can even run her fleet footwork if you feel like you're gonna poke down a shit ton, or
Mhm.
even the other one where it's like after 3 attacks more damage. But I don't think that one's very good on her. But you can basically do whatever you want. It's just picked up on the matchup. Like, what do I need to be for the team, or what can I do here? And
Yeah.
then like a really good item path too is just so it used to be you'd rush phage item first, right?
Mhm.
Because Black Cleaver gives you that CDR. It gives you basically everything you need to do anything for her. Because she kind of is a bruiser. She can be a bruiser too. But the thing is, you can also just go for fucking Ravenous Hydra.
Yeah, Ravenous always seemed like a good item. I'm gonna
It's
go
really
super off topic here, um, and just kind of like change what we're talking about because I'm sure we'll talk about League a lot more when we're actually playing League. Or Dan actually messaged me just now, so he might want to play Valorant or something. But way off topic, switching topics more or less. I've been reading some manga,
oh yeah.
um, and god damn it, I'm tired of fucking Brandon shit. Uh, I've been accused time and time again for only liking simp manga or anime or whatever the fuck. All right, you already know I like romance anime or manga, but that's not all I like. I loved My
You're
Hero.
like, I like it, right?
I yeah, dude, who doesn't? So I introduced Brandon more or less to My Hero. Like I was one of the pushing factors of just like, hey, you need to watch the show. Like I watched a shit ton of like Full Metal Alchemist. I watched the original series of 2003. Watched Brotherhood. Obviously I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. I know a lot about Naruto. I haven't watched it in its entirety. Um, there are other things like I tried to get into Bleach but didn't like it very much.
No, no, it's bad.
One of my friends, my friend Troy, he loves Bleach. I'm just like, you know what? I'm very happy for you, but Bleach to me resembles a One Piece, and goddamn it, I'll never get into One Piece. um,
Dude, so bad. We've talked about how like I like watched like a lot of Bleach, and then at a certain point I'm like, why the fuck did I
why
watch
am I doing this?
single episode?
But yeah, I started reading manga again, and I picked up one like I I picked up one because the anime for this manga is new, and I caught up to the 4 episodes that were out obviously super fast. And I was just like, oh, I wonder if the manga is any good. I'm gonna continue with the manga. I'm like 80 plus chapters deep in the manga right now, and I'm still reading it.
That's how I started because when Magi came out, I
Uh,
was so hyped for it that instead, like Magical Labyrinth, the one with like Alibaba,
yeah.
I was so hyped for it because I thought it was such a cool world that instead of waiting like how I normally would, I said, "Fuck it, what's manga?" And I started reading it, and then that was the first time I read manga, and then ever since I had preferred reading manga over watching anime.
A lot of the time too, cause like I'm super impatient to some degree. Like I'm a patient person, but it's just like, dude, I wanna know. Like I wanna know where it's going, and obviously that's to keep you invested in the show and the series or whatever. Um, but yeah, I started watching an anime called Rent a Girlfriend, and hold
I
up,
was reading that hella long ago.
okay, okay. Yeah, I started watching it because the anime is new, and I think I saw like something in for it pop up in my feed because like I do like watching AMVs,
I
and
saw you make it for it.
yeah, but yeah, I started watching it, and I got 4 chapters or 4 episodes deep, and then I was just like, all right, I'm just gonna start reading it because I don't want to wait right now. I don't want to wait till Friday, which it was Sunday morning by this time.
Yeah.
So I was just like, dude, I gotta wait a fucking whole week for episode 5. Come on, bro. Um, so yeah, I started reading it, and after I started reading it, like Brandon is now accusing me of only liking fucking simp shit, and I'm just like, dude, like,
That one isn't. That's a mutual simping. Okay, they both simp each
I'm just
other.
like, why do you care, bro? Like, why does it matter what I like? It doesn't like. I didn't make, but I told Brandon to watch one anime that was a romance anime that I thought was pretty good, which was Plastic Memories Forever Back. Um, I,
Oh,
I
so
I still think it's halfway decent, but if you guys don't know about Rent a Girlfriend, like it starts off that this guy,
dude.
no,
That-
this guy's he's a college student or
my
whatever.
bad. Escort.
Yes, yes, of course. But he's a college student and he has a girlfriend at the moment. But then, like, literally episode 1, she breaks up with him. He's like, oh, my name is whatever the fuck, like, Kazuya. And he's like, oh, I have a girl. Like, fun fact, I have a girlfriend. And then she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, we should break up, by the way. And
Like, she's also she. That woman's crazy.
she's a super bitch. But uh, the idea here is like he's super depressed or whatever. Like what person wouldn't be? Vincent's muted right now because he's got something going on. But I'll keep on explaining. But he is super depressed because him and his girlfriend broke up or whatever, and he comes across an app on his phone. Like it's a rent a girlfriend app. So his idea here is to like, oh, maybe this will help me feel better, like get my mind off of things. So he proceeds to rent a girlfriend for an afternoon or like a couple hours or whatever. And
Back.
hello back, I am Papa. But yeah, he proceeds to rent a girlfriend for a couple hours to make himself feel better initially, but then as romance anime goes, it's just like, shit, I actually like her. Um, but I like romance anime and manga a lot. Like it's one of the things that actually make me feel anything anymore. Um, Cringe anime lord 420 whatever the fuck. But yeah,
Simp master.
it's
Sorry.
I think the reason why I like romance anime and manga so much is because it potentially resembles feelings I once had or something like that. Like there's like a certain sweetness to it where it's just like, oh, that's so like that's nice, that's pure or whatever. It's
You know what you should read?
what is that?
Cigarette and Cherry.
What the fuck is that?
Look it up. Do you have Manga Zone on your phone?
No, but I could.
Download it and
Oh.
then go look up Cigarette and Cherry.
Um, I will do that, but obviously,
Not right this moment,
yeah,
obviously.
we'll keep on talking for a bit, but yeah, I think it's funny once again talking about like evolutions of things we like until like today. Obviously, I talked about like, oh, I like the Dragon Ball, the Naruto's, and stuff of that nature, and I still do now. Like My Hero, I love My Hero Academia, and but Soul Eater, another example. I love Soul Eater, and but today, typically when I watch an anime or read a manga, I might generally go to the romance subcategory or whatever. What's the evolution for you, my friend? What has things changed that much or?
I kind of just read whatever. The thing I noticed is like I've been having a problem. I can't like read anything about high school kids because I just hate it. Cause I'm fucking get over it. Because now like I'm at the point where I'm like I don't fucking care, dude. Like I've been through that shit. Get
High
over it.
school problem.
How do I tell her that I like her? Yeah, whatever, dude. Just fucking do it.
Bakasune!
I don't fucking care. That's the point. I don't.
I love the Filthy Frank video. Like, hey, like guys, Japanese people don't talk like anime. But he
Yeah.
does like such a good like anime voice. I'm just like, oh, that caught me.
Like he's like, But yeah, for real though, we don't talk like that.
Oh
Like,
God. But anyway, sorry. Continue.
but like another like thing is I've been like there's a long time where I enjoy darker things, but
Okay.
I'm getting back to the point where I'm enjoying non-dark things because I'm like
So what are
because
some
now
so what are
the
some
thing.
things you read in high school?
Oh God, I can't even remember. Actually, you know what was really good? Real Life.
Oh, damn, I forgot about that one. That one was so good. Yeah, you actually made me read that, and I'm so glad that you did. I told somebody
So
about that show, and it
what
was,
became a show?
yeah,
That's dope because it wasn't. I don't think it was a manga, webtoon because it was all in color. Remember it?
yeah, yeah.
But it was hella good. It was hella good. Very, very, very strong, and makes you feel a lot of fucking.
I told one of my leads about this. He used to work with me at Zulily, but he changed jobs eventually, and I told him about Real Life, and I'm just like, yo, this shit is so good. Definitely give it a watch. He came back to me. It's like, dude, I binge watched that entire thing. Thank you for making me watch that. I'm just like, dude, I told you you would not regret it. So good.
I actually really enjoyed Tokyo Ghoul. Uh,
I didn't get past
not
the
the
first season.
not the anime, the manga, because
Okay.
that's another reason for manga over anime is because I don't have time to sit there and watch episodes. I'd rather just consume content at my own pace because I read fast. So I'd rather just go through them. But Tokyo Ghoul like I fucking cried. I cried. That show it's like a roller coaster of fucking emotions. They're not show, but the manga is like really, really intense. Really big ups and big downs. Syndrome.
Oh my.
Uh,
Gotta get up and
uh,
get down with the syndrome.
the Immortal was also really good. They got to a future arc. I just can't get myself to read it anymore. But fuck, it hurt so bad to read it. And there's so many moments where like I'm pretty sure I sent you a thing where it's like the dude's like there and he's like in the boat with that one chick and she's like, I love you, and like he makes a boat because he can just make shit and then he pushes her off into it. He's like, I hate you.
Shit.
She's just off like on the
That's godlike.
where it's just well, speaking of godlike, because he's basically the Ark of the Covenant and God. It's weird.
I love you, God. Fuck you.
I'm looking for a picture because I don't remember where I have it, but it's so fucking funny to me.
I
But it just I hate you.
there were often times where like a series would end, but like so a series would end. I would love the series so much that I just wanted it to continue so bad. So I would turn to fanfic to like attempt to continue those stories, and it's like a lot of them were very good. Um, oh God, let me see this shit.
Yeah, here
Sorry,
it is.
sorry for people that are listening, but keep talking.
I just want to talk about this real quick.
Don't come close to me ever again. I hate
True, because
you.
his name's I wouldn't care if you died. I know.
Oh shit. That is some hardcore shit.
Son tries to fuck him when he's in the female form. And then,
But
uh,
but yeah,
that oh my, you should read that. You should read that.
should
That's gonna make
I?
you feel it.
All
Oh
right, well,
yeah,
you'll have to get me the name of this manga and
it's to you, the immortal.
how long is it? Is it pretty long?
It's pretty long. Right now it's on chapter. It's not. You could like binge it in a day. It's at chapter 127 too,
Oh,
but
that's
it's
not that bad.
yeah. But like up to like chapter like 120 something, it becomes a future arc that I haven't got myself to like read much.
Um one of the manga that you got me onto as well was The Breaker, and
Oh my, oh, the manhwa, because that one's is that Korean? I think that one's Korean.
I think
Yeah, the
so.
Breaker's Korean.
I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, I very much enjoyed the first iteration of the Breaker, and then like I read
New
New
Wave,
Waves, but I
dude, they're milking it hard.
yeah I felt like it almost got like a little too political for me. And I'm just
Well,
like,
because it was literally because well, the thing is, you fall in love with it because fighting manga, like it's really interesting. Then it's like, and it's like New Wave. It's like, do you like, do you like Star Wars Episode 2? Do you like sitting around and not knowing if shit's happening? Like,
High Chancellor She Swoon or She Woon or whatever.
trying to find. I'm actually, as we're saying this, I'm trying to read the. trying to read. Fuck. I don't know.
One of
I'm
my
trying to read the last chapter because I'm curious on how it ended. Because I can. So now I want to.
see if it's something I should actually read.
The first thing I see. The Breaker New Waves was a massive disappointment.
Yikes! Oh no.
Season 3 might have been confirmed.
I thought like the first iteration of the Breaker was very very good. I enjoyed it a lot. Um, but one of the manga that I after reading the Breaker and after reading Kenichi's Strongest Disciple and that after that was all over, like I was hungrily looking for something else to like replace that because there are times when you finish something, you're kind of sad that you finished it because you enjoy the experience so much that there's nothing left. It's just like, dude, I need something to fill this void. Which I went on to some Yahoo answers. Went on to some forums or whatever. It's just like, yo, what is some manga that is very good that is like maybe resembles blank or whatever or somewhat like in some way or another. And one of the recommendations that kept on popping up was Holy Land. And it's just like you'd see in every form like Holy Land, Holy Land. You got to read Holy Land. And
Oh, you were telling me about this.
eventually I did, and
Holy Land of Violence.
it became probably one of my favorite manga. Like there was something there for everyone. Like it got a bit big at points, bigger than you'd expect it to. As in like, it just starts out that like, hey, there's this kid, he doesn't want to get bullied. So he turns to a book, and it's a boxing book. I think it just teaches him about a jab and a straight, and very commonly very good tools to have. Like just a jab and a straight, super powerful. So
I just read the end of the Breaker New
is
Waves.
it bad?
That's not an end.
Oh fuck. I honestly don't remember much from the Breaker New Ways. Like I know it got very big in the fact that like heavily political. Like there was all these fucking whatever agents or some shit I
Well,
don't
they
remember.
built the character to become something great, and then they take it all away. Then he's building it back up, but then he doesn't do anything.
But
So then
like
it becomes this thing, like, well, why do I care anymore? Because they're just not doing shit.
out of what I remember, like they were kind of like grooming him to be a leader of sort, but then
Also, the one to defeat his own.
well, it turned out to be like, he's just a face, like a false leader essentially. But then he's like, oh, nah, fuck this shit. I'm actually gonna like become someone respectable. And then they're like, actually, do you respect this kid or
He's
whatever?
kind of
Like,
strong.
he could be a
Like
good
that.
leader, actually. Out of what I remember, this was so long ago. But doubling back to Holy Land, this kid didn't want to get bullied. He'd like stay at home all the fucking time. Like his parents were like talking about him. While he's in his room, and he'd be able to hear it like up super late at night. So he
Sorry,
didn't
son. Bitch.
he didn't want to. Well, it was about him not going to school a lot. So he didn't want to get bullied. He got a boxing book or whatever. He learned like a jab and a straight, and that was just to like defend himself. He beat
Kenichi, or not Kenichi. Good old Ippo.
more or less, I guess. But eventually, he runs into bullies. Like he didn't go to school anymore. Like the one place he liked being was downtown. I'm just gonna say Tokyo. I don't remember if it was this was Korean either. Um, but you know, a downtown place. Like he loved going to the arcade. I think it's been a while since I read this manga. But he loved going to the arcade. He ran into some bullies that were trying to hassle him, and like he's practiced his jab and his straight like so many
A
fucking
million
times.
times.
Yeah, he like just up super late, like doing like very basic weight training and stuff, and just fucking rocks this guy in the face with a jab just because he wants him to get away.
He
And
didn't. He's like, oh, the jab. You're gonna throw a lot of them. They're very strong. And then he's like, oh wait, bare knuckle jabs will kill people.
this motherfucker gets rocked and taken out, and everything happens by way of word or way of mouth or whatever. Like this gets passed on to someone. It's just like fucking kid beat up my lackey, my weakling henchman, and then it gets passed down and passed down. It's just like, and he learns more and more. It's just like, oh hey, like I only know like a jab and a straight, and it's like, oh, you got this far with just a jab and a straight. That's pretty incredible actually.
I wish he had to do a hook, and he's like, "What's a hook?" And then he's
Well,
just
like
fucking.
he develops a friendship with someone that's like a super big karate fan. It's just like, all right, I'm gonna teach you how to do a kick, and like he keeps on getting this repertoire of like moves and things added to him. Like he makes friends with someone that knows judo. So I think
Oh fuck! Or
he's
jujitsu.
one of the people that he runs into. He ends up fighting, and like he ends
Oh,
up
he's Mega Man to him, where they all teach him shit, and he
kinda,
becomes
yeah.
strong.
But the judo dude is just like, oh, everyone's tough till they get thrown on concrete. and
It's true.
and so the only reason like this kid was up, like the main character, I forget his name, was that like, the only reason I'm like walking right now is because I was wearing a backpack. Like he threw me straight on my backpack. At least there's some cushion. But he keeps on like relentlessly hitting him, like just trying to keep him out with jabs and straights. But something he talked about too is it addresses a lot of like very good physics or understanding of how these moves actually work. So while the judo guy is like chasing him down or whatever, he's backing away, throwing these jabs and straights, and it's like there's no like power in my punch because I'm running away. Like
Like
I
he's learning. Oh no, you gotta dedicate.
yeah, so it's very good. Like I thought I would even consider reading it again now and maybe formulating my own thoughts and opinions again.
So you know what? I have a manga that I've been reading like that's actually really good. It's about capoeira.
Okay.
However, it became brutally apparent that, like, because they have them these capoeira fighting people, but like they're like basically capoeira is like the ultimate martial art because no one expects it, right? And they have like one thing in there that kind of killed. Like I'm like, okay, this is pure fantasy because they don't know what's going on, and
Yeah.
there's already some. Okay, this is stupid. But like not even the capoeira moves because they're being very real where it's like, oh no, like they would do all these crazy movements and all of a sudden they just do a standard kick to the side of the head that no one saw coming because they thought they'd do something weird and elaborate and there's fucking side kick. um, but what's really stupid, the thing that killed it for me is like the main character, she's fighting boxer
Mm-hmm.
in a ring. And he's a very unorthodox boxer. He kind of just throws power hit punches, and that's about it. He throws really weird punches. But they were talking about how boxing gloves, in of themselves, are weapons because they make your punch bigger. And I immediately got hell mad.
Oh my god. I'm mad
The
right now.
only thing boxing gloves do to help you like that form them as a weapon because they call them a weapon of their own. The only they do not make your concussive force larger. It makes you able to punch things without breaking the brittle ass bone in your hands with as much ferocity as you can. But here's the thing: they don't make you like it's just so you can throw more volume. It's not so you can throw more power. Like if you have like the thing is the reason knuckles are deadly, bare knuckles are deadly is because it's that one solid
Yeah,
point
it's
where
like a
all that force.
concentrated like
It's the difference between kind of hitting someone in the leg with like a wiffle bat versus stabbing them in the thigh. Like, it's like,
Yeah, so
damn,
obviously you
like
and
his
I both know the science of like the glove. It's like it's a largest surface area, so it diffuses a
yeah,
bit of the force, and obviously
there's
there's
actual
padding.
cushion and padding that distributes it even further. And like there's the practice gloves that have a lot more loose, like not well, yeah, loose cushioning. So there's space for the cushioning to like compress and even take away some of the force of the punch. So
These
gloves
people's
are
understanding of gloves.
they're not weapons. They like if anything, they just let you throw more punches. But like there's a boxer who's fighting like a fake Wing Chun, and like he's fighting him with only one hand, and he knocks the dude out. But I like immediately is like because the Wing Chun dude has no gloves. I was like, if that boxer didn't have gloves either, that dude would have died. like I'm one.
Yeah, so like it's very funny when you read like a manga or something. Like you can tell that there's not a full understanding or inherent understanding of like how this shit actually works. It like makes it quite
Unless you read
comedic.
Rocky the Grappler,
Oh
because
god, Baki. I
do you know the author of that? Do you know why he Baki?
no.
He was in the military, or their version of the self defense force. He loved fighting. He like did a bunch of mixed martial arts. He did a bunch of shit like that. He's super into martial arts and everything about it. So when he talks, like it's all about pushing it to the absolute extreme.
Very much so,
But
yeah.
when he talks about technique, he's right. Like on a lot of it, he's like, oh, this dude was fighting, but he didn't think like it's like, oh, why did he not knock him out? Because there was no friction, like, and he didn't put any power from his back. But he was an idiot who jumped in the air and punched him, but he had no grounding
I
to
think
put power behind him.
I think that's
And the
part of the
dude absorbed
reason
it.
why I loved Ippo so much was like this
Boxing.
the person that wrote this like was not just box but was like a coach or whatever out of what I immediately recall. So like he
Yeah.
knows everything and like how they translate the experience of like we talked about in fighting games how a match is or a round is like only 3 minutes, but that's the longest 3 minutes of your life.
Yeah.
Sure, everything is a little bit enhanced to, really put on emphasis of like what's going on in the match, but everything that's being talked about is very accurate, and I think that's part of what I love
Makes
about it.
people.
But how they exaggerate things doesn't feel as far fetched in Ippo.
Well, like the Dempsey roll, obviously that's not like
Oh,
the way
that's
he does it.
yeah, yeah.
That's not how it's done. Like, and it's not that like amazing of a technique, really. It's literally just throwing power punches left, right, left, right, left, right, right. And like there's like even lightweight boxers who do it, and the way they do it is they literally bounce like to throw each punch to bounce back and forth. That's
Well,
back
Ippo
and
is a
forth.
lightweight.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Where
No, yeah, I
it's
do.
not because like the way they show him, he like grounds in, locks down, just goes left, right, left,
Wait,
right, left,
was
right, left, right,
was
and
he a
like
lightweight
that
or was
happened.
he a featherweight?
He was like 125. He's a small dude.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's just surprising because they draw him with so much muscle mass. Because
Yeah,
it's like he's like short and stocky and like, and then they give him all this muscle mass. It's like 125. Like looking at him, we're like, I'm not
I
so
don't know.
sure
That
about
muscle's
that.
pretty dense, bud. But
He's so dense. Like that's the biggest thing. Like, cause like the Miata or like his like rival.
yeah, yeah.
Look at him when he first started. You're like, yeah, I can get light with this guy.
I
I
can,
get it.
yeah. But you
But
look
like
at
literally,
fucking hunking mass of muscle,
yeah, it's
Ippo.
like the difference between your and my build, right? Where like it's like you look at you and you're like, okay, 180, and then you look at me, you don't think 275, but then you're like, but then when you hear it and you like see me for a while, you're like, okay, 275 makes sense. Like the difference in like mass and like build, okay, yeah, sure. It's like even if they're taller, like they weigh way less, but they're like and then this dude's like hell stocky, so he'd weigh more. He has more room for like just muscle mass, right?
Yeah,
Not
and
saying that you don't.
it makes
It's just
sense
like
too, because we're roughly the same height. I'm all like an inch taller than you.
Yeah, and then like yeah now, but like when we were younger, there's like a you were like 2 or 3 inches taller than me, but I still weighed like a shit ton more. It's like looking at Tyson versus all the other heavyweights.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Evo has the build of Tyson,
But
but they're
he's
like he weighs 125
adds
pounds,
up 100%.
and you're just looking at him, you're like, I'm not too sure about that one. And like you look at his rival, and it's like, oh, he's leading the lightweight, gained more muscle. It's like, but he looks like he just kind of reached up to where the other dude's at.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's so good. And
it's
they
so
they talk about a lot of like, you know, things that actually come up in boxing too, like cutting weight or
pressure.
whatever to yeah, exactly.
Obviously to the extreme where it's like, don't shower because you're
Your body will absorb
absorbing
the moisture.
and you'll gain weight, which is not real. And you know what's funny? You know what I realized as after like losing hella weight. You know how the one guy who got Ippo into boxing,
Takamura.
eh, Nakamura, and he's like in the middle of the night, he's like opening the fridge and like I want to eat this tomato, but I can't. And
Yeah, yeah.
the thing is, if he just replaced that tomato with any other non-nightshade vegetable, he would have been just fine. Like, also, boxers day of carb load or they eat something before the fight. They always do. Like Tyson, he had a really bad idea, but it made him crazy strong in those first few rounds. But he couldn't last like past like a few rounds. But he would drink a glass of orange juice and eat a candy bar for the sugar rush.
Interesting. um I've while I was looking around, like doubling back, while I was looking around to like fill the void of like Kenichi and the Breaker, I obviously came across other manga as well. One was titled something like All Arounder, whatever, is like a MMA one, which I thought was okay, but I literally remember nothing from it other than this female MMA fighter was kind of strong, and this dude ends up kind of crushing on her, and she ends up crushing on him a bit.
He
That's
starts
literally everything I remember from that. And then there was one more, where it's about karate, and there's this dude that took gymnastics or whatever, and he ends up switching over to karate, and I remember his one move that was like super powerful was like it was like the sacrificial kick or whatever. I don't remember its exact name or translation, but it's where you do like the flip
wild, like
or whatever. It's where you do the flip, and then it's the goal is to, hey, if this kick lands, it's pretty much a for sure KO. But if it doesn't land, I put myself in a terrible spot.
oh, I actually had this one manga favorited that's about martial arts. I was gonna send you, but I guess I unfavorited in my pocket or something.
Um,
Uh,
but yeah, But yeah, no, I guess I'm just a simp, and I just like simp things,
yeah, I
according to
mean, I get
Brandon.
that.
According
For
to
a long
Brandon.
time, I like that one where it's about like baseball, but it's like if he loses a game, he like loses hella money, and he's like paying off debt, and he has to play baseball to get rid of debt.
I like that
Yeah, you were telling me about it.
because I don't remember this. Are you talking about? I think you might be talking about Tyler, actually.
You told me about this.
Was it Diamond No Ace or something like that?
Think so, where like he had like hella debt, and if he like does well, he doesn't want to play baseball, but
Does he look
debt.
like a shit heap of a person?
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't me, bud. Because I never watched that.
Oh, it
But
wasn't an anime; it's a manga. You were telling no, it was you telling that because I remember where you told me at my second house or my first house in Tracy when I had that drawing desk. Maybe the second one is the second one where I had that drawing desk. You know, the giant with the light, and we're showing each other manga and anime, hanging out.
I mean, it's possible, but genuinely, I don't remember. Like, the only things I remember related to baseball were an anime called Cross Game.
Cross game, that's the one. I
Uh,
remember that.
it,
I
it,
don't think it was that premise. I think I heard that premise. You
it,
were telling me about cross game.
yeah, Cross Game is like super, like, almost cutesy in a way. Um, Yeah, it's about baseball, but God, I don't even know how to fucking explain this
It's
shit.
okay. I don't really care. I won't read it.
Yeah. Well, I ended up watching the anime for Cross Game, but yeah, it's just kind of like a cutesy one in a sense.
It's a really weird anime.
What's that?
Bento.
Oh my god, yeah. I tried to. I couldn't get through it, dude.
I got through it. I got through most of the second season, and then why am I doing this to myself? It's
I,
just weird. It's just weird. They're beating the shit out of each other for like box lunches
discounted
at
food.
uh,
I'm just like, you know.
they don't even care. They don't even care about the food as much as they do the fight.
Can
And
we
I don't
make?
know what kind of market lets this shit happen.
Hold on. Can we get an anime about uh like Black Friday shopping?
I'm doing I'm doing some preliminary sketching right now.
Oh my god. Like they think, fighting over discounted food is crazy. Like Black Friday is wild in the US.
There was this
But
one
anime Black Friday? Oh my god.
so you know how there's this horrible show named Outsourced where it's about this guy who has to go to India because the department gets outsourced and he has to head the call center in India, right?
Okay.
And he like falls in love with an Indian chick. There's also this slutty Australian chick he dates for a while. Doesn't matter. I don't want to call her a slut. That's just rude. She's just living her life. He's just bad at making choices. Um, I think they were trying to make her seem like, but I don't like it. But anyway, point is really stupid. He was showing them like because it's Black Friday in America, right? And so he's showing them. I was like, this is what Black Friday looks like in America, right? Like it's super bad. Like all these people are getting trampled and all of that, and like all these Indian people are sitting there like, that doesn't look that bad. He's like, what do you mean? These people are being trampled. He's like, no one's setting themselves on fire. No one's like
Oh shit.
coming through like doing all this other crazy shit. And then he's like, oh yeah, huh? He's like, I
Didn't think about it like that.
forgot the history of this culture.
So, um, something I always wished like became an anime uh, would be about skateboarding. I love skateboarding. I think it's the fucking coolest shit. If there's an anime about skateboarding and like maybe not even necessarily like a grind to become professional, but like the closest thing I got to that as an experience was actually Air Gear. That kind of gave me that same vibe. Like I loved kind of like the hip hop kind of aesthetic that it would bring. Like it brought like a somewhat rap vibe. Obviously, it had more hype moments with the "I get the shit there," whatever.
Love when you see in the world ends.
On top to break, no chain, no pain, don't be afraid. Buckle, what am I? Same old days, same old ways. I want a Suzuki that okay. I wish that they had that same vibe for Air Gear, but with like skateboarding instead.
You ever finished the Manga Fair?
Ooh, I got a big chunk through. I would not mind going back and reading Air Gear.
If I told you that there's a guy who just wears regular ass,
Rollerblades. I think you told me about this forever ago too.
he does
Smokes on fellas with Air Gear. Oh shit.
fucking destroys Iki with fucking rollerblades.
Oh man.
And I want to tell you who, but
I thought that like
skateboarding is a huge thing in Japan.
you should see like the skaters out in Japan though, cause they're so fucking good.
No, that's the thing though. The thing is though, they don't have like parks or like any like big parks.
No, they have parks out there.
Oh, I know, but they're not as available like certain.
They
And it's crowded. And all the streets are like kind of crowded in certain towns. The big town, like skating's a lot like really popular in cities, right? Like you think New York, there's still spaces for you to like skate, but Japan's so condensed. There's not really anywhere that you can skate. Not really.
The
There's so much shit that like makes it to where you couldn't. There's so many hills. There's so many like train stations that have all things up to prevent people from skating.
I should show you some videos by a YouTuber named Luis Mora. He he started out in LA, kind of. He originally lived in Nevada with his parents, and then he moved to LA to pursue like some kind of skating career with like friends or So he moved out there, and eventually, he likes anime and stuff like that, and that was like part of the appeal to his videos is like how he edited them in like a certain kind of style. He's very good cameraman, and filmer and editor and skater as well. But eventually, he ended up moving to Japan. Like he ended up going there for like a couple months, and then he went back to LA, I think, and then he ended up going back to Japan for a couple more months, and then he went back to LA, I think, again, and then eventually he's like, I'm just moving to Japan, like fuck it. Um, and the skate scene out there is like so cool. And
So I found that new tech for,
but yeah, his how he makes his videos are like super like artistic. I'll have to show you some. Oh,
yeah.
oh my. Okay. But yeah, like the skate scene out there feels so different out of what's presented in something like LA. LA is a
Because there's
huge
a lot more hardcore and
LA is a huge like skate scene. When people think skating, they think of like LA and New York. Primarily LA.
in
Um,
San Francisco.
I really don't think about San Fran that much. But
People skate.
yeah, the skate scene is just it's just different. I will have to show you these videos. And
They
they're
tell
I actually showed them to Brandon as well. He's just like, this is making me want to skate, and I don't skate. And I'm just like, dude, I'm saying though, like these videos are an absolute vibe.
you're gonna love what I'm.
I'm scared now.
There's a Japanese illustrator, but
Okay, so for those of you that can't see, Vincent DM'd me a picture of an anime maid doing a blunt stall on a. Oh my god! And there's one of a maid in Primo. Oh my god, that's I forgot the name of those boards. And then a front board down some fucking like nice ass, like a super nice staircase, like in a mansion or something. She's doing. Wait, no, that's not a that's not a front board. She's doing a front hurricane, I think. I think it's a front hurricane. But yeah, he's just sending me a bunch of pictures of maids skating right now, and it's the best shit. Oh god, that's so good.
there's okay. After this next one, there's one I'm gonna send you. You're gonna,
Oh, that one actually just looks sick. Oh, dude. Okay, you know these people know what they're talking about when skating, cause yeah, typically you'll do. So this last one that he sent me is a picture of a maid, uh, that's holding a board
hands too.
that's pressing the nose of the board down on a ledge, and typically you'll do that to test how a ledge will slide or if it's like sticky or something somewhere. Oh my god, you know these people know what they're fucking drawing or
There's
talking about.
many of them.
But the only representation of skateboarding that I've seen in anime has been actually, I think it's an anime called K or something like that.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
never watched it, but like I saw there was skating in there, and like he was doing tricks and shit, and I'm just like, dude, can I just get an anime of this? Like this shit is so sick.
Oh, that one dude who's works with. Yeah, actually, I just it's here.
Um,
Um, this is why I think in the world ends with you. you are going to be so excited to see the character beat.
So, we've been kind of going for a while. We've been kind of, whatever. Just on tangents and stuff. It's been about 2 hours or so. I think this is where we'll end it. If you guys want to see more like rambly, kind of off the cuff, tangent podcast with Vince, let me know in the comments below. Or if you'd like a bit more structure, please let me know as well. Also, Vincent's in the description, Vincent's YouTube will be in there. You guys can check him out, drop him a sub or a follow or something like that. Anyways, I will see you guys later. Any wrap up thoughts, Vince? Anything to say?
Watch The World Ends With You. Also, the next one's going to be
Oh no.
much clean and oriented. I feel like this is just one of the ones where we just want to talk and then see where things go.
Well, alright guys. For now, I'll see you later. Peace.